Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Sorry, we have been a little bit quiet here last week, but we're back with more episodes of Thursday weekly pod talks. And today we're going to be talking about, sharing some strategies with you guys about how you can manage your fitness and how you can still make this a lifestyle, even when you have things going on with your family, maybe with work, just with life in general. There's always things, and we just want to share this strategy so you don't feel like you need to put your fitness on hold to do those things or to overcome those challenges or to just overcome whatever's going on in your life, because it's very important for you guys to understand that what we're doing, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet for 8 weeks. It's not a diet for 12 weeks. And then you're going to go back to square one. You have to learn and understand to change or move things around, adapt to the circumstances to make it work, even when things are different, even when things are challenging, because that's the main time, or that's the most important time that you need to do something about it to work around it. So you make this a lifestyle and you don't have that mindset of just a short-term thing. But thank you so much, Alyssa, once again for joining us. How are you feeling today?
Yes, good. Good to be back. It's been a bit crazy for both of us, I think, at
Yeah.
the moment. And we were just talking about before, this is actually the perfect topic because, when your week doesn't go to plan and things happen in your life unexpectedly,
Yeah.
how you would still stay on track and, we still have to do things for work and still have to, focus on our own health and fitness, when things kind of come our way. So, yeah, I think this topic is very fitting, like not only to everyone
Mhm.
listening, but to ourselves. And we can try and share with you guys a bit of insight about what we suggest would be the best way to kind of get through this based on our own experiences, our clients' experiences. And I think it's just something that you really have to kind of think about and, think, if you want to make your health and fitness a priority, no matter what's going on,
Yeah.
outside of. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I
Or
think
outside of.
I think the first thing is to change your mindset about that. Because I feel
Yeah.
like if you think that you need to put your fitness on hold just because something is happening in your life, I feel like you still have that mindset that I need to be very strict with my diet. I have to be very strict with
Yeah.
my training. If I miss out on one training session or if I'm not sticking to my meal plan 100%, I'm never going to see results. I'm never going to make any changes. I might as well just stop this until I have the time to come back. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't change that mindset, nothing is going to change, because something that we always say is like mindset is everything. In the moment that
Yeah.
you understand like this is something that you have to do for the rest of your life, not just for that short period of time that you lose that way. Like if you want to sustain those results, it has to be a daily thing. It has to be something you do consistently every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. It's not a short-term thing. So I think once you are aware of that and once you understand that, also understand, because one thing is being aware, but the second thing is also understanding that, because if you don't, you're just gonna think like, yeah, whatever. These girls are just talking bullshit. Like they don't even know what they're saying. It's literally, it just has to be like that. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're gonna continue with that mindset of only a few 3 months or 4 months or 5 months,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the same cycle all the
A
time.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I think it's important to realize as well, like a part of life is having setbacks and having things happen unexpectedly, or even things that are expected, like, parts of the year where you might be traveling, or, you've got family staying, you've got, things on events that are going to, really affect your usual routine and what you're doing. But it's still important to make that a priority. And I think this is a problem that a lot of people have. Even I've been talking to a few people lately, and it's really interesting. They're like, oh, I really want to join your coach program, but I'm just going to wait till, a few months until this is over. And it's like, yes, okay, I get it from a, like, looking outside and you're like, okay, this is where I'm going to have more time to focus on it. But really, when is ever the perfect time?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
your life's never going to be perfect 365 days of the year where you're going to have no interruptions, no changes. Like there's always going to be things that pop up here and there. So it's like the more you wait, the more you prolong it. And I think it's actually worse because I feel like this is where people like will continue to put it off,
Mm.
and then they're like, oh, it's almost the end of the year. I may as well just wait till next year now. You know what I mean? Start
Mm.
fresh. So it's like there's never the perfect time. And I think that's with anything in life. you know, with your career, with your family, fitness, everything. There's never the perfect time to start anything, you know what I mean? Or do something. It's like you just got to do it, you know, and take that step. And then once you do it, it's like we always say, building those consistent habits, you know. As soon as you take your foot off the pedal, you know, that's when things start to go backwards. Yes, you may not be able to go like 110% like you were before, but you still need to make it a priority. You know, it's the same thing when you're sick. Like you've experienced it, I've experienced it when you're sick. You're not going to be able to obviously perform and do things to the standard that you were doing it before, but you still do what you can, you know, and understand, okay, this is temporary. I'm just going to get through it and then get back on track. So it's all about how you navigate through it, how you change your mindset about that as well.
Yeah, and like something I think like will make you guys understand this a little bit better. Let's say when you have family over or when you have something unexpected happen into your life, do you go and like pause all your subscriptions, let's say Netflix, your power, your Wi-Fi, your, I don't know, your electricity? You don't, right? Because those are things that are just you're gonna continue paying those things because they're important. You want to have that light, that power available. You want to have that Wi-Fi available. It's not just because you're sick or because something is happening. You want to put everything on hold. It's the exact same thing with fitness. Like you're not going to put or you shouldn't be putting your fitness on hold when you have challenges or setbacks happening in your life. Because, no, life is so unexpected. Like it's always going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's the same with your fitness journey. Your fitness journey, if you're watching this, you can see I'm going up with my hand. It's never going to be linear. It's never going to be going up all the time, every single day. That's just unrealistic. Not even like the top performers in this world have a linear progress with the fitness.
They have so many setbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
They still, what separates them is they're consistent and they keep going and they always still focus on it. And I think that's what really separates people from, you know, you're kind of the people that constantly make excuses and just, you know, this never-ending cycle, or those people that really show up no matter what. And, you know, like, and I can vouch for, I have clients that are really, really good at this. Even when they get sick, even when they've got family staying or they've, you know, got maybe a few weeks at, like busy with work where they, you know, they have to be at the office longer hours or things like that, they still make time, maybe not as much time, but they still make the time to be focusing on their goals. You know, they're still doing meal prep. They're still doing those non-negotiables. You know, they're still doing that. You know, obviously there's going to be times where they're not 100% on, but it's like they're still got that priority there. As soon as you don't have it as a priority, you're just going to keep pushing it down the list, down the list, down the list to the point where, you know, it's not going to be there. So yeah, it's really important to remember that. And like you said, it's not going to be a perfect, you know, it's not going to be always going up and, you know, a perfect line. It's going to be up and down. And I think that you have to come to that realization and that it's that acceptance that it's going to, and not get in your head to say, that's it, I'm going to put this on hold. I'm going to come back in a few months and then I'll really be able to do it when I've got nothing on my plate. It's like, you can't have that mindset, you know? And like, even people say to me, they're like, oh, you're always consistent. Like you always train. And I said, well, yeah, but that's because I've got it as a priority no matter what, you know? And it's like, as soon as I let that go, I feel like I lose myself, you know what I mean? And I don't want to go to that place. So it's always about how you can still make it a priority no matter what's going on. But I think it just comes down to, you've got to have like we were saying before, really strong mindset. You've got to really want it for yourself. I think that's the important thing as well. You have to internally, you can look for others for motivation, but you got to be like, no, this is what I'm working towards and I'm going to keep at it. So you've got to really, like we were saying last time, find your why, like why you're doing this, why you started, why you're on this journey. You really need to remind yourself of that and maybe communicate that to people around you, to your family, to your friends, you know. I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, and you also have to put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, who's going to put yourself first? Like, who's going to look after you? Who's going to take care of you? Who's going to do those things for you? No one's going to do it. Like, even the people that love you, they simply cannot do it for you Even your
Yeah.
partner, he cannot or she cannot do it for you. It has to
Yeah.
be you. You have to be your own cheerleader. And that's something we always say. You have to be the one looking after yourself. You have to be the one putting yourself as your priority. Because if you don't,
Yeah.
like you mentioned just now, you're gonna lose control. And that's how I feel as well. Like if I'm not on top of everything, obviously not every time is gonna be 10 out of 10. But if I don't try my best to control the things or do the things that I can while I can, I go crazy. I don't feel good about myself. I don't like the way that I look. I don't like the way that I feel. I don't like the things that I start thinking. It just it
Yeah.
gets too messy. I've done that before in the past. I've learned my lesson. It's one of those things like once you make that mistake once, you don't want to do it again because you know exactly
Yeah.
what you're gonna feel. You know exactly what's gonna happen. And why would I keep doing that to myself? Why would
Yeah.
I keep disappointing myself every single time if I know exactly how I'm gonna feel? And I think that's why self-love it's so important. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
people don't have that.
100%.
I think many people, and I hear this all the time, it's like I never prioritize myself. I always put
Yeah.
everyone else first, and I never put myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing to yourself? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with being a little bit selfish. Like you have to be
Yeah.
selfish. If
Well,
you're
that's interesting that you say that because like even a lot of girls that joined my program, they were like, I'm doing this because I want to make myself a priority. I've always put other people before me. And it's like now it's my time. But then I find the problem with that is they do it, but then some of them fall back into that trap of,
yeah,
oh, I'm really struggling because, of so and so, and I've got to, they're a priority. And it's like, okay, yes, I get it. When you have kids and you have a family, they're still a priority, but you working on yourself and making yourself priority is going to make you a better mother, a
mm,
better partner, a better friend, a better sibling, like a sibling,
everything.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
I truly believe it makes you so much better as a person. You do things better because you're like, you have a more positive attitude because you're like, oh, let's just say like, oh, I've done my workout today. It may meant that you had to get up a little bit earlier. And then I feel like you can perform better throughout the day, knowing in your mind, I've done something for myself. You know what I mean? And it's really important to remember you can't just focus on yourself temporarily.
Mm.
Yes, you can obviously, maybe at the start, initially, you've got to sacrifice a bit more to kind of get into that routine of things. But once you learn to set yourself up for life, where you're doing these things in your week or in your day regularly, you're going to feel so much better for it. You're going to thank yourself for it. And I've seen it from experience working with these mums, like a lot of my mums, they are just so much better as a mother, because of what they're doing. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, 100%. Like it makes you, like you say, it makes you a better everything. Mom, friend,
Yeah.
employee. It,
Partner, employee, yes. Yeah.
it makes you better at everything. And I know sometimes it's hard. And you guys are probably thinking like, come on, like you guys don't have kids, you guys don't have the same lifestyle. And yes, we don't. We
Yeah.
every single person on this earth, we all have different lives. And I don't expect you
That's right.
to think the same way that I think. You know, we're humans, we all think different ways. But it's just for me hard
Yeah.
to like, why can you not put yourself first? You know, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying do this that's extraordinary or whatever. It's like putting yourself first because that's the only way that you can look after the people that you love. If you're not your
Yeah.
100%, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not treating yourself with respect, those around
Mm.
like your kids, they're gonna learn from that. They're gonna do
That's right. Yeah.
same. They're gonna be like, my mom was always someone that used to look after other people before herself. So I'm gonna do exactly the same. And will you want that for your kids? I'm sure not. I'm sure you will think a different way.
Yeah.
You'll be like, no, I want my kids to put themselves first, and then they can look
Yeah.
after the people around them. So why expect
Exactly.
from them and not from you? It's just always
Yeah.
about, again, it's not being selfish, but you just have to be a little bit selfish. You have to put yourself first.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
100%.
yeah, things are gonna get messy. And I think something personal that I can share from my own experience is exactly what happened last week. You know, things were a little bit busy. My dad was in
Yeah.
hospital, which things can get crazy because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's gonna happen. And I made a post about this today, and I was like, I could have easily just be like to my clients, I'm gonna take a week of work. I'm gonna
Mm.
take a week off the gym. I'm just gonna buy food from the hospital because it's much easier. You know, I don't have the time to cook. I don't have the
Yeah.
energy to cook. I could have said to people, I don't want to see, I could have made up many excuses, many
Yeah.
excuses. and just use my dad as like the reason why I was not doing those things, why I was not showing up, why I was taking that time off. But it's my choice to decide whether I want to make those excuses or whether I want
that's
to
right.
be showing up for myself and somehow try to manage everything that I can that's under my control. And I think that choice is always yours. Like I made the choice to keep showing up. I made the choice to keep going to the gym. Why? Because I know that makes me feel good. If I'm not feeling good, how am I gonna be good when I go see my dad? I'm just gonna be upset. I'm just
Right.
looking like my energy is gonna be so low. I don't want that. I want to project that energy to him and to the people around me. If I don't talk to my clients, if I take a week off, that wouldn't be fair to them. They're paying me to be their coach. They expect me to help them, and I want
That's
to.
right. Yeah.
And I have to be there. I have to show up. Like this is something that I wanted to. This is a business I wanted to run. So I have to take responsibility for the things I chose to do. I chose to keep making my meals, in the morning, keep making my meals, my lunch, my breakfast, take my snacks with me. That way, one, I'm not spending money, wasting money at the hospital buying different foods. Two, I can still be on track with my meals. And three, just feel good about it. Because if I was just eating Subway or sushi or McDonald's or whatever food was there, I would be feeling so yuck, low in energy, bloated, and like, why did I do this to myself? And just ask, or why is this happening to me? Things don't happen. Things happen for you. So we just have to try our best to make that choice for ourselves, and we have to try to stay positive. I think that's the beauty about life. Like you have the choice, and I know it's easier said than done, of course, but it's something that you develop with time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not like a change that I just made one day. Yeah, I'm gonna decide to be like this. You just have to practice it with time, and then when life throws you those challenges, it's gonna be easier to handle those challenges.
100%. And I think that's a problem as well that I see is that people don't know how to deal with problems when they come their way. And their initial reaction is that's it, everything out the window.
Yeah.
And that's and it's like I get that life's tough, and when things happen, you want to just drop everything and focus on that. But at the end of the day, you're still a person. You still need to look after yourself and your health, like you said, to project that positive energy to be better. You know what I mean? Like another perfect example, it's actually quite interesting. Like obviously I coach mainly females, but I actually had I'm coaching a male at the moment, and he's a father, and his biggest goal, like a lot of people when they come to you, they're like, oh, my goal is to look like this and feel this, and his goal was actually to run around with his kids, to be there for his kids. Like that was his goal. And it's like he's doing that so that he can show up as a better father. So he's making this a priority because he's like, the more that I focus on myself, the more that I better myself, the better I can be for my children, So whilst we're saying be selfish, you're actually doing others around you a favor too, and people in your life. Yeah, you're being selfish, but you're also helping them, and this is the same, like we were saying before, like even with me and my partner, if we can't train, we would go insane, and it's like, oh, we'd be frustrated. But because we focus on that, it's like we have that clarity, when we come home from the gym, how was your session? Yeah, it was a good session. Like, you feel good. And I think that people need to really start to realize that whilst you're being selfish, you're also helping other people around you, the way that you show up, the way that you do things, and the way that you respond to situations, So I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah. And I think like it's also because when something unexpected happens, to anyone, I think it's easier for people to say, I feel overwhelmed, or this is too much, this is getting too much. I think they just let those emotions control them, and they just I don't know, maybe think about too many things or overthink, and there's just too much going on in their minds, and they forget that they're the ones thinking about those things, or they're the ones taking those decisions or making those decisions, sorry. I know sometimes things can get too much. I know sometimes you can feel like, I'm feeling so overwhelmed or maybe stressed or anxious or worried. But if you keep telling that to yourself, if you keep saying, yeah, it's just getting too much, it's too overwhelming, you're just going to make yourself more. Yeah, exactly. You're just going to make yourself feel like that even more. So you just have to be like, okay, I know right now things are getting a little bit too much. I am experiencing those feelings of feeling anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, whatever you're free to experience whatever you want to feel, but just make sure you don't let those emotions control you. Make sure you don't let get that out of hand. Like make sure those emotions don't go, just control you. Like you have to be the one in control. You have to be the one always taking control back. And that's why I keep saying you have to be the one making those choices, because you can make the choice. You can make the choice 100%. You just have to want to do it. You have to, like you say, you have to really want to make this change, and you have to really want to make this a priority. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing every single time there's a setback.
Yeah,
Single time there's a challenge, and it's never.
Some people might get setbacks like every month, and it's like if that's how you're constantly going to deal with them, you're never going to be able to stay on track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I always say to people, like, when these things happen, like say you've got family staying or you get an injury or, something unexpected happens with work and you've just been like, you don't have as much time. I say to them, rather than just going, oh, that's it, I'm going to like cancel everything or I'm going to put everything on hold. I say to them, you don't have to show up in all areas, but just focus on one thing. Like I say to them, okay, you're not going to be able to focus on your nutrition, exercise, maybe at this point in time, maybe focus on one. Let's just focus on, all right, you're not going to probably hit your steps every day. Let's just focus at least on nutrition, staying on track with nutrition. Or, one client, she was really unwell. And I said to her, that's fine. Like, let's not focus on pushing your body through, killing yourself in the gym and, going for your walks when you don't have the energy, but let's just stay on track with the nutrition, or you might not be able to get to the gym. Let's just go for a walk, like a 20-minute walk. Like, little things that you can do that you still feel like at least you're ticking the boxes. At least you're doing like some sort of accomplishment. I think some people think that they have to, and this is what we were talking about last time, you don't have to be all in 100% of the time. But if you can focus on one thing, that's going to give you some sort of accomplishment, some sort of, good endorphins going through your body where you're going to feel better, So I think people really need to think about, okay, what's going on? What can I do? Maybe just one thing that I can focus on that's really going to help me feel better and still at least, maintain my goal, or maintain what I've been currently doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And this reminds me, I've got this beautiful client, like beautiful, beautiful client. We've been working together for over a year now. And this lady, this woman, she's amazing because she's had so many setbacks. Like honestly, if I was to tell you every single setback or like count with my fingers, I wouldn't have enough fingers to count how many setbacks. But even though she's had and she's having so many setbacks consistently, not just for 1 month, but literally every single month, there's always something happening.
Yeah.
She's still working hard. She's not giving up at all. If she's not able to go to the gym, she's focusing only on the nutrition. And then if she's not able to focus on training on nutrition, she's focusing on her mindset. Like this woman is not giving up at all. Like if it was anyone else, I'm pretty sure there's like someone else would be like, this is just getting too much. I need to put everything on hold. But she's not doing that. And she's like, I love this journey because I love how it makes me feel, even though I'm not able to give my 100% all the time. I just feel good about me trying, about me not giving up, and me trying my best or working with what I can, working with what I have. And it just makes me feel good. And to me, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this woman so much. Like, that's just incredible. And like, she inspires me because it's like, if someone with so many setbacks can do it, like literally so many setbacks can do it, anyone can do it. Like literally anyone can do it. And that's why I say like, it's easier to make excuses than to the choice and to stay committed. And exactly how you say, like, you don't have to be 100, we don't have to be 100% all the time. If you're not able to focus on one thing, let's say your nutrition, you can still focus on your training. If you're not able to focus on your training, focus on your nutrition.
Or like you said, even your mindset, something different.
Do something.
And it
have to be everything.
And it's funny you say that because I also have a client, like she'll laugh at just you like those moments where if you don't laugh you'll cry, you know what I mean? Like it's just as soon as she would get better or she's back on track, something would happen, and it's like as soon as she's back on track, something would happen. And it was like it's just like this period, but I have to give it to her, like same with your client, she's still, as frustrating as it is, she's still showing up in one way or another. like she's still focusing on something. She's like, yeah, okay, I haven't been moving, but I've still been eating on plan, or I've still been eating, on plan where I can, like still doing something. You know what I mean? And other people I know would just be like you said, be like, nah, too hard. That's it. Or what they actually do, it gets too hard and overwhelming where they just like totally throw everything out the window. They binge, they do this, they like all these bad habits or previous habits start to come back. And that's where I think people really let themselves down. Like, don't let yourself fall into the trap of, completely throwing all your hard work out, completely throwing everything out the window, because that's worse. You know what I mean? You'll find that you won't actually do a lot of damage if you just cut back a little bit.
Yeah.
You do the damage where you let it all go. So yeah, no, it's good. And you, like you said, it's really inspiring to see those people, that really try to tackle these obstacles. And I was actually making a video before, and it's like, whatever obstacles that you have in your life that you feel like keep coming up, like identify them and think, okay, is this something that's happening regularly that's stopping me or limiting me from achieving my goals? How can I control it? How can I overcome it? Who can I go to for help? You know what I mean? Like, not just trying to always deal with things on your own, but like, how can you seek outside support to really to help you? You know what I mean? Like, I have some girls that I don't coach, but they reach out to me in the DMs and they're like, look, I'm struggling with this. Like, what can I do? So it's just about even just asking someone for advice. I think that's a good thing to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, I think, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. If you
Yeah.
you're struggling and you feel like this is getting too much on your own, ask for help. Like, whether it's your partner or someone that you love or that you trust at work, your family, friends, anyone that you can talk to. Because sometimes if we keep all the emotions and all the feelings to ourselves, it can get too much. And then one day you're just gonna be like, it's getting too much.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
whatever reason you go back to your old habits, you start binging, you start going a little bit crazy. That's fine. It happens. That's also completely normal. Like, don't punish yourself if that happened. Like, if it happens, the best thing that you can do for yourself is forget that it happened and just move on. Pick up the lift, try to slowly get back on track with your routine. Sorry, with your training, with your nutrition. And it's just gonna, because if you keep thinking about what happened or feeling guilty about what happened or punishing yourself, I'm not going to eat the whole week because I was binging the last few days or whatever, that's going to make things worse. Just what happened. There's nothing we can do, absolutely nothing. You can only learn from what happened, reflect on that, and just try your best to make today the best day ever, and just continue to keep trying. Ask for help. Don't keep everything to yourself. Journal. That's something I always tell to you guys. And I know it's maybe, I don't know if you're doing it, I don't know if you don't know it, but if you're not doing it and you're feeling like too much, things are getting too much, write things down. That honestly does help. Like the other morning I was feeling like, ugh, it's getting too much. And then when I start writing things down, it's like magical. I don't know. You just feel like something like a nice,
I
like,
was doing a lot of that in when we had those lockdowns years ago. I was doing a lot of that because I felt like I had more time. Or you really like, it was a hard time, you felt really like confined and you couldn't go in there. So I found that really powerful. And I want to actually, that's one of my goals, to be better at doing that, journaling, because I think it's really underestimated, the power of it. Like, some people are like, oh, I don't know about that. And I'm like, honestly, just try it. Like, you'll be surprised on how much it actually helps. You know what I mean?
yeah. If you don't try, you will never know. You just have to.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, if you don't try, you're just gonna be like, waste of time. I'm not gonna spend my time or waste my time doing that. Like, it's whatever. Like, I honestly got my little diary here. I don't know if you can see, but that's where I write a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah, that's where I write everything down. Like something so little, you
Yeah.
don't need anything fancy, and then just write things down. That's all you need. How you feel,
Literally.
what emotion you're experiencing, whatever's going on through your mind. It does help you so, so much just to feel a tiny little bit better. Not 100% better, of course, but it does
Yeah.
make
But
a tiny difference.
to get that out. Yeah. Yeah. And even just like daily reminding yourself of something that you're working towards, or reminding yourself of your goal, sometimes writing that down can be so powerful. Like, I have a whiteboard here in front of me, like a little whiteboard,
Same.
and I've got like my 2024 goal, and it's like, as I achieve like each little milestone, I'll tick it off. Like, and it's just that reminder. So I
Yeah.
can keep looking at it and being like, yeah, that's a reminder of like, I'm on the right path. And, when days get hard or, it feels like it's all too much or you feel like you're not making progress, it's like, look at that and remember that. And that's it. So I always say to people, like, have it in front of you somewhere, have it like on your wallpaper or whatever it is, like just having it there to remind you. I think sometimes we just need that reminder.
100%. Remind yourself again, only you can do it for yourself. I feel like I don't know how many times we're gonna give you this message, but I feel like sometimes we just have to tell you things over and over, or you have to hear those things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And one day you're like,
Like a
that's
broken record. Yeah.
yeah, like I feel like
Even
wow.
sometimes on my social media, I feel like I'm repeating the same message. And it's like, but this is because like this is what you need to do. There's no fancy way of doing it's like in order to do this, we're going to give you the strategies that may sound repetitive,
Yeah.
but it's what's going to really help you. And I think the biggest thing is, making yourself, like we say it, making yourself a priority. It's not like, yeah, okay, it may seem selfish from the outside, but you're actually going to benefit and other people around you in your circle will benefit from that.
Yeah. And like if someone says something about that you're looking after yourself or you're taking care of yourself, let them talk. Let them say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
If anything, I would
Negative energy.
I
Yeah.
would feel sorry for that person because I will be like, if you're telling me that, it's because you're clearly not putting yourself first. You're not prioritizing
Yeah,
your
that's right.
that's pretty upsetting. If anything, is there anything I can do to help you to like, help you understand like being selfish,
Yeah.
like there's absolutely nothing wrong. You have to make yourself a
Yeah.
priority. And I think, the main messages that we're trying to give you guys with this pod talk today, it's, being aware of what's going on, making yourself a priority, being selfish, and you making the choice to do these things for yourself because you're the only one that can make those choices. And also just work with what you can and do the things that you can. If you can only focus on one thing, nutrition, do that. If you can only focus on training, do that. If you can only focus on mindset, do that. Don't feel like you have to be 100% every single day with
Yeah.
every single thing that you do. You don't, because even we're not 100% all the time. That's just and it's unrealistic. It's not sustainable if you do it 100% every single day. Trust me, it will not be sustainable. And one day you're gonna break because it's just you're just gonna feel like it's getting too much. But
Yeah.
I think those were like the main things or the main messages that we're trying to give you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But is there anything else that you will say? Any other tip or any little strategy to help them show up for
No,
themselves?
I think like just take everything that we're saying on board because at the end of the day, like, you're obviously listening to this for a reason as well. You're
Yeah.
obviously following us for a reason because you want to, learn more about how to, how to be consistent, how to stay on track, and that's what I've been trying to tell people. This is why we do these pod talks to help you guys. So take what we're saying on board and even just think, okay, what's one thing that I can do tomorrow just to, make myself that 1% better, like we always say. So yeah, I think that's important. And just remember, things are going to happen in life, and it's the way we deal with them. It's the way we try to overcome them that's going to really make the difference at the end of the day.
Yeah. And also, the main thing is stop putting your fitness on hold. Stop putting yourself on hold. Yeah, your life. I wouldn't say your life, but yourself on hold to do
Health,
that situation. Yeah, or to deal with that situation, or to try to overcome the situation, or to whatever it is. Like you cannot put this on hold, okay? This is not a membership that you put on hold. It's your life.
Yeah.
You simply cannot put it on hold. Your life.
The more you on hold, you're just gonna, it's just gonna keep getting prolonged, and then you're gonna be 60 one day and be like, what did I even do? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, think of longevity, think of health, think of, how you can be, how you can just get it done and how you can make it a part of your lifestyle rather than trying to fit it into the perfect time of the year. It's probably never going to be the perfect time if you were to actually look at it properly. So just start, do it for yourself, do it for your family, the people around you, for your job, for everything in your life.
Yeah, remember, perfect time. Perfect time never exists. Not perfect. Yeah. Let's stop with excuses. Let's stop. Yeah, let's just stop with excuses,
Procrastinating.
What I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it happen, guys. Honestly, if you want to do it, you can make it happen 100%. Just make it happen. Stop talking too much BS. Just get it done. That's the best thing that you can do for yourself, not for us. This is not going to affect us at all. It's just for
Yeah.
you, for yourself, and for your life
Yeah.
and for the future.
That's right. Yeah.
But thank you so much, guys,
Definitely.
for listening or watching this. If you're watching, it was a pleasure talking to you, Alyssa. We will see you again next week, Thursday, on our weekly pod talks. Remember, if there's any topics that you want us to discuss, anything specific that you want to learn about, please send us a message on Instagram so we know exactly what you guys want to learn more of. Don't forget to share this on your social media if you found this useful, and tag me at Daniela del Carpio and Alyssa at Empowerment PT by Alyssa on Instagram.
Got it.
Until next time, and as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao.